You want to know what real shock feels like? Try sitting at your kitchen table watching the sun rise over the lake. Your late wife dreamed of coffee in hand, dog at your feet. Then finding out some lunatic named Patricia is selling that lake online for 50 grand to strangers from God knows where. Yeah, that actually happened. And the best part, when I caught her, she didn't even blink, just screamed, "I'll bury you under that lake for all the world to hear." You can't make this stuff up, but I'm telling you, I lived it. And if you're curious how a grieving widower outplayed the Queen of Karens and made her lose everything, buckle up because it gets wilder with every turn. Most mornings it was just me and Duke. He's my golden retriever, a gift from my wife Emily before she was killed by a drunk driver 3 years ago. This lake, the one Patricia thought she could flip like a foreclosure. It was Emily's dream, clipped from a magazine and stuck on the fridge back when we still thought we'd grow old together. After I lost her, I couldn't breathe in our old house anymore. I sold everything, packed up, and bought this ranch out here, 5 acres, a 2-acre lake, willow trees, dancing in the breeze, the kind of quiet that lets grief loosen its grip a little. I'm not new to real estate. I spent 15 years as an appraiser, saw every con in the book. But out here, I wanted peace, not games. For a while, it was just Duke and me in the soft lap of water on the shore. Then Patricia Gray rolled in 6 months ago and just about set fire to every bit of peace I'd carved out. Right off, something about her was off. She shows up, calls herself president of the Meadowbrook Women's Association. Never mind, there's barely 20 households in the whole county, goes door to door with that stretched smile pitching community improvement and economic development. Most folks just smiled, nodded, and shut their doors. But I found out soon enough she wasn't just annoying, she was desperate. And desperate people are dangerous. Turns out Patricia had blown up her real estate career in the city, caught forging signatures, pocketing deposits owing more than 200 grand to the bank, and another 50 to some very dangerous types. She changed her name, dyed her hair, and came out here to start over, thinking she could turn our sleepy place into Patricia Lake Eco Resort. She'd already drawn up brochures, lined up so-called investors. Only problem, the centerpiece of her master plan. My lake wasn't hers. It was Emily's, and now mine. Monday morning, everything blew up. Phone started ringing before the sun was up. At first I thought it was a wrong number, but then it was 50 calls, then texts, people asking if I'd take $60,000 for the lake folks, saying they were flying in from California. My stomach dropped. I opened my laptop. There it was, all over real estate sites. Private 2-acre lake for sale, $50,000. Contact Patricia Gray, authorized representative. Drone photos, mock-ups of cabins, my sanctuary pasted everywhere. I stormed straight over to her place, Duke, hot on my heels. She was out there watering roses, smiling like the world's best neighbor. "Are you insane?" I barked. "You're selling my property on the internet." She never lost that fake smile, but her eyes turned icy. "Don't be dramatic, Marcus. The lake's been underutilized for years. I'm just helping our community reach its potential. Do you even have the deed, or have you just been squatting here?" She bluffed like a pro, talking about ambiguous property lines and her connections at the county office, pure fiction. But for a second, I wondered if she really had an angle. And then out of nowhere, she dropped her act. Face twisted in fake terror, she started screaming, "Don't hit me. He threatened to kill me." Throws herself on the ground, phone in hand, already calling 911. Next thing, 2 cop cars come tearing up the drive. Officers jump out, hands on their guns, and Patricia's sobbing that I threatened to bury her under the lake. For a moment, I honestly thought my life was over. Luckily, Mrs. Henderson, neighbor in between, had security cameras that caught the whole thing. The cops watched the footage, saw her fake the whole episode. Still, all I got from the sergeant was, "You two work this out like adults. Next time someone's getting charged." I walked home shaken, but that's when my years in real estate kicked in. She wanted to play dirty fine. I started digging into old county records, flipping through survey maps and dusty deeds late into the night. Meanwhile, Patricia escalated LED tour groups of investors past my property, handed out glossy brochures, even launched a website for her imaginary resort, the whole circus. At one point, my old neighbor, Thomas Murphy, stopped by, casserole in hand, grinning. "Marcus, she's got the whole county talking, but you're not alone. We've seen folks like her before." I wanted to believe him, but exhaustion and doubt crept in. Maybe I should just sell and leave, but then I remembered Emily standing on the dock laughing, and I knew I had to fight. That's when I found it, a tiny, forgotten parcel, just 75 square meters wedged between Patricia's property and my lake access. Plot X. Some old farmer had owned it, died without heirs, and it had been lost in county records for decades. The access road Patricia needed ran smack through this sliver of land. Without it, she'd have to cut through miles of protected wetlands. Impossible. The next morning, I was at the county office before they opened, talking to Rita, the clerk. Turns out Plot X was never properly claimed by anyone, just owed back taxes, could only be sold at public auction 3 days away. Word travels fast. That evening, Patricia cornered me at the grocery store, trying to act casual, but I could see the panic behind her eyes. Auction day, I brought in a ringer. My friend William Johnson, a retired theater professor, played the part of a mysterious developer bidding just high enough to freak Patricia out. She panicked and dropped 10 grand on a worthless strip of land. The best part, I quietly bought the neighboring plot, the real key, for $800 right after no competition. Now I owned the only legal access to the lake. Patricia had just spent $10,000 on a sidewalk to nowhere. Next morning, before dawn, I hired a fence crew. Jake Morrison and his boys, best in the business, put up a military-grade steel fence, security cameras, the works. By the time Patricia's investors showed up, the only thing between them and the lake was a wall of no trespassing signs and a story to tell their lawyers. The investors went ballistic. "You said we'd have lake access. I want my deposit back. This is fraud." Patricia's smile fell apart as I walked out, deed in hand, calmly explaining that she owned a strip of land that ended at my fence, but no way to reach the water. They left in a cloud of dust and angry words, her whole scam exposed. You'd think that would end it, right? But Patricia doubled down, called the cops again, this time bringing a witness. Jeremy, the poor guy, was shaking clearly. Coached, claimed. I'd shoved Patricia and she'd hurt her arm. Cops came, but this time I had 8 cameras covering every angle. Footage showed Patricia alone, faking an injury on purpose. Jeremy, folded under pressure, admitted. Patricia paid him 5 grand to lie. Cops arrested her for filing a false report and witness tampering. Didn't stop her, though. She jumped online, smeared my name all over social media. Faked screenshots, made wild accusations, claimed I killed Emily for insurance, threatened to poison the lake. The rumor mill went berserk. But I'd learned not to fight a liar on their turf. Instead, I hit back with the truth, posted her criminal record from Florida, Texas. California added police reports, security footage, screenshots of her fake listings, even statements from victims. Within hours, the story spread. Local news picked it up. Community turned on her investors, organized for legal action, and the FBI started sniffing around. Patricia deleted her accounts, but it was too late. Then she tried to poison Duke antifreeze in his water bowl, caught just in time. That changed everything. No more playing defense. I lawyered up, filed every charge we could: fraud, defamation, attempted theft, animal cruelty. Her house of cards crashed, investors demanded refunds, the bank wanted its money, her car got repossessed, even local realtors wouldn't touch her property. The trial was a spectacle. The prosecutor brought up victims from 7 states, video evidence, police records, even brought Duke into court. He sat there like a champ. Patricia tried to play the victim one last time, but the jury saw right through her. Guilty on all counts. 18 years, no parole for 5, ordered to pay restitution to every last victim. She collapsed at the table, defeated. 1 month later, life by the lake finally feels right again. The whole community threw a barbecue, part celebration, part good riddance Patricia party. Someone joked she's now running the kitchen at a federal prison in Kentucky. I can't help but feel a little sorry for her. She was smart, could have done something real with her life if she'd tried. Instead, she wrecked everything chasing a quick buck. But you know what? Justice sometimes is just a dog chasing butterflies by the lake at sunset, and a man keeping a promise to the woman he loved. Patricia's gone, but Emily's dream lives on in every ripple on the water, every peaceful morning. And if you ever find yourself facing down a neighbor from hell, don't give up. Sometimes the best revenge is just protecting what's yours and watching the world realize who the real villain is. So let me ask you, ever dealt with a neighbor this bad? What did you do? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. Hit like if this made your day better, and stick around for the next wild twist. You never know what kind of drama's waiting just around the bend.